Betta fish are like the hot girl in high school who doesn't want to be upstaged by her peers and everyone kind of finds her annoying but is too polite to say anything. Basically most, not all, but most, are insecure little divas. They're gorgeous, dramatic and deeply committed to being the main character, which means putting them with anything too flashy, fast or fabulous can cause issues, like flaring, fin nipping, or in some cases, murder. Today I'll be going over the best tank mates you can keep with your Betta. These are species that are peaceful, low-key, and unlikely to trigger an identity crisis. First, it's worth recognizing that before you even think about choosing a tank mate for your Betta, you need to make sure that you actually have enough space. If you're the kind of Betta keeper that keeps your fish living in a tiny glass cube under 20 litres, then the best thing you can do right now is click off this video and go watch something more suited to your setup, like a tutorial on how to apologise to your fish. Because unfortunately, yes, size does matter. If you want your Betta to have roommates, a minimum of 40 litres is ideal. So assuming you're not keeping your Betta in a thimble, let's get into the first tank mate, the Ember Tetra. Ember Tetras are small, peaceful and tend to keep to themselves. They're bright orange, which makes a good visual match if you're looking for something colourful to complement your Betta without sort of competing with it. They don't have long fins, they're not overly flashy, and they move in tight little schools, all of which makes them low risk in terms of triggering aggression. Keep them in groups of 6 or more, and ideally in a planted tank. It helps them feel secure and keeps their colour vibrant. Overall, they're one of the better options if you want something that's small, active, colourful, but not inviting conflict. Tank mate number 2, Kuhli Loaches. These guys are bottom-dwelling fish that spend most of their time hiding or quietly sifting through the substrate. They're long, eel-like, and not particularly interested in anything happening above them, including your Betta. Because they occupy a different area of the tank, they aren't visually threatening. They tend to be left alone. They're also nocturnal, so most of their activity happens when the lights are off. You'll need a group of at least 3 to 5 to make them feel comfortable, and they'll appreciate soft substrate and plenty of hiding spots. Just be aware you might not ever see them. They tend to vanish into whatever decoy you've provided and only reappear when it suits them. So if you're after something a bit more showy, this probably isn't it. But in terms of compatibility, these guys are a safe option. Plus, they're great at keeping your snail infestation at bay. Number 3, Corydoras, but more specifically, Pygmy Corydoras. Most Corydoras species are excellent tank mates for Bettas. They're peaceful, they're social, and they keep to the bottom of the tank. But a lot of them also do get quite large, which means if you're working with a smaller setup, you'll eventually need to upgrade your tank. If you'd rather avoid that, Pygmy Corydoras are where it's at. They're the better option. They stay small, around 2 to 3 centimeters, and they're absolutely adorable. Like all Corys, they're social fish, so you need at least 4 to 6 of them for them to feel secure. They'll spend most of their time just cruising around in a group, cleaning up any uneaten food and keeping to themselves. They're non-aggressive, they're quick enough to avoid any mood swings from your Betta, and their muted colour makes them unlikely to draw unwanted attention. If you want a small, peaceful group that won't outgrow your setup, they're a strong choice. And, again, so damn cute, so damn adorable. Number 4, sort of similar to your Ember Tetras, is your Cardinal Tetras or your Neon Tetras. They're very popular within the fish community. They're small, peaceful, and visually striking. Their bright colours can actually complement your Betta very nicely, especially in a well-planted tank. They're again schooling fish, so you'll need at least 6, preferably 10 or more, but at least 6 of the same species to make them feel secure. A group of them moving together can help create a more active, natural-looking tank, and they tend to stay in the mid-water level line, so they won't get in the Betta's way. If you're not sure whether to choose Cardinal or Neon Tetras, I'd probably go for the Cardinal Tetras, just because they're a little bit bigger, they look a bit more flashy, and they're a little bit more hardy. And number 5, the Bristlenose Pleco. Now, plecos are often recommended as algae eaters, and for good reason. They do a solid job of keeping your glass and surfaces clean, and they tend to keep to themselves. They're peaceful, not flashy, and they occupy the bottom of the tank, which means they generally won't bother you Betta or be bothered by one. That said, they are not tiny. While they often start out small when you buy them, they can get huge. So if you have a smaller setup, around 40 litres or so, you'll eventually need to upgrade that tank or find someone else who can take them once they've outgrown their space. As long as you're planning ahead or comfortable passing them on down the line, they can be a useful, low-conflict addition to your Betta tank. Now, before you go rushing off to introduce your new friends to your Betta, it's worth mentioning the obvious. Every Betta has its own personality. Some are calm, some are territorial, and some behave like they've been personally wronged by everything that moves. So even if you pick the perfect tank mates, you do all of your research, and follow every rule, there's still a chance that your Betta decides it hates everyone and will prefer to live alone. It's not your fault. Sometimes you just end up with a fish that's a bit of a dick. So always have a backup plan, like a spare tank or a friend that owes you a favour, just in case peacekeeping doesn't go to plan. If this video has helped you, give it a like and subscribe for more fish keeping content. And tell me your Betta's name in the comments. The more cooked, the better. Better. Alright, that's it. Good luck, and may your water be clear and your Betta stay emotionally stable.